Hey everyone, welcome to Live with DJ Rossstar. Today is Tuesday. It's December 9th, 2025. Today on the show, we're going to talk to Gold Steps from Wisconsin. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat below. Now keep in mind, this show is on twice a week, so if you're enjoying it tonight, I hope you come back. Let's get to the interview. And we're back.
What happened?
I think that's on you. You're the one in the car in the middle of nowhere.
I know. Somebody probably rode past me with one of those like blockers or something. I swear. But
Well,
oh well, we're back.
we are back. We're here with Betty from Gold Steps. We're talking about their great shows they just did with Hit the Lights and working with Nick from Hit the Lights. And now we're talking about Motion City Soundtrack and how feral you go for both of those bands.
Yes, there's actually a TikTok if anybody wants to go to our TikTok page and scroll back. And I think I like we were at like my favorite bar and they always play pop punk music when we're there because we're like homies of like them. And so one night they were playing like a bunch of emo stuff and like Motion City Soundtrack came on and I'm like dancing with like an old fashioned in my hand and like there's it's just that's just like who I am. So like I said, I the internet has ruined me. I do not have any sort of like embarrassment type shame anymore. I have moral shame, but that's a Catholic guilt thing we don't need to get into today.
I love that you're a pop punk fan and it's not just like a thing you're doing to try to, get fame or money or whatever it would be because
What
that,
fame and money in pop
this would
punk,
be, I was
man?
going to say, this would be the absolute wrong thing to do if that's what you were going for. So.
Yeah, I'm here to take over the pop punk world and top the charts like it hasn't in the last 10 years.
Oh yeah, I will say this, and I've been saying this for like 2 or 3 months now. The Motion City soundtrack record that came out this year was my favorite album of 2025.
Wow.
And I've known Justin personally for many, many years from doing interviews with me, but I was never like a active listener to their albums. So
Mhm.
I have no real emotional attachment to the first three that people will always say are the best. So from an outsider, this just blew me away. Like the lyrics, the melodies. And then I went to see them play a few weeks ago here at Say Anything, and the live show was great. And they did like 7 new songs, which was cool for me. I'm sure everybody else was kind of like, oh man, another new song. But like those are the ones that I was most excited to hear. So it's probably cool for bands to see somebody actually excited to hear the new stuff for once.
That is super cool. I'm definitely probably in the minority on like so I listen to a lot of my friends' bands, so they do a lot of singles right now. So I haven't listened I mean I listened through the Motion City soundtrack album. I listened to The Starting Line. I listened through Yellow Card. But I feel like I kind of got stuck in a little bit of a loop of like more regional or smaller bands. So like my friends. So I just have to give a shout out to When the Sun Sets from Chicago because I think I've listened to their stuff probably more than any other like new album this year. Just
Nice.
because,
They were
yeah,
they were they were on here a few months ago. I'm gonna send this link to him. That's great.
yeah, they know like we're like in love with each other, like all of us. Like we're one big happy family. We did a weekender together back in September and like just we had some moments together that were just like special. So we're like you're gonna see a lot more of us together, I think, next year.
So, do you have a favorite album of 2025, or you don't really have a full album you love? It's just kind of random singles here and there.
I'm gonna get dragged in the comments unless I say a pop punk album, so I'm gonna decline to state my favorite album of 2025.
I don't think you should. No, hold on. I don't think you should hold back anything because you're more than just the word pop punk. It could be anything.
Well, it's not really a secret that I love Taylor Swift.
That's fine.
And so my most played album this year was her new album, but it's
Okay.
also like it's good background music and good driving music. So it's just like when I don't know what to listen to, I just throw that on.
Hey,
But I also really liked,
nothing, no
uh,
shame in it. I'll say no shame in that. I have a friend, Chris, who's like a 41-year-old guy, and he only likes pop punk and Taylor Swift. That's like the only exception. He's obsessed. So I get it.
I love it. But I also listened to Taylor Acorn's new album. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one that has oh God, what is it? No, maybe I'm thinking of her last album. Like I said, I don't remember album names as much as I remember like the singles and stuff that come out. Um, I'm waiting for a new Fall Out Boy
Mm.
whenever that comes.
Do you have a favorite show of the year, whether one that you went to as a fan or one that you played?
Well, it's really hard to beat the ones we just played, but
Well,
best
you did also
Christmas.
play with the Used. I'm sure that was up there on the top four
Yeah,
shows
that
of the
was
year.
playing that venue is kind of a bucket list item. Um, Man, as far as concerts, I just went to a lot of local shows. We went to one at Amorphic that was some like bands from around here. Enswell fucking killed it. They played. It was Action Adventure was headlining. So that was one of our favorites. Um, we did go to Summerfest and see Motion City Soundtrack. So and Plain
Awesome.
White T's I think opened for that one. But yeah, we
Did
played
you
so many shows this year, so I
did
didn't
you
go
did
to
you
any
in
of them.
fact go feral at that concert? Motion City and Plain White T's?
I was up in a VIP section, so I was
Ah,
like at the table doing a lot of this and like standing at
okay.
the wall and like eventually we did go down and got kind of close to the front and then I completely let loose. But I also had had a bunch of free drinks by that point, so.
I would say I went to a lot of shows this year. The best show I saw was probably AFI. They are so
Oh
good.
wow.
Davey Havoc just turned 50, and he's got so much energy, and his vocals are like better than ever. And the whole band sounded great. I'm not like a huge fan either. I know like some of the songs, but just watching that show was really cool. That's something I would recommend you or anybody watching check them out if you've never seen them before, because I was totally like taken back by how good it was.
If I did see them, it would have been so far back that I probably barely would remember it now, and it was probably at like a festival like Warped Tour
Yeah.
or something.
And the coolest show I went to was before I moved here from Nashville. I got to see the All American Rejects play the house party show.
Oh really?
That was really
That's
sweet. They played in the neighborhood, like right in East Nashville where I was living, just in someone's backyard. And it was just so cool. Like, I definitely felt like I was in a teen movie from the 90s. It was surreal.
how does that like how did you even know it was happening? Because everything I thought, well, first of all, they didn't come anywhere close to where I live. So,
I'll tell you how, because I'm a Reddit guy. I'm always trolling Reddit. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to follow the Rejects Reddit. And a couple of shows leading up to it, people were slowly leaking where it was at. And somebody leaked the address at 2 in the afternoon. And I said, you know what? Let me go do recon. It's only 6 minutes away. And I said, okay, I see the tour bus. I went back home and got my wife and said, let's go. And even getting there at 2:30, I was still like 100th in line. So people knew about that leak even earlier than I did. So I'm lucky I even got in.
that's wild. They're in Milwaukee this year. So MGK played a pop-up show that one of my friends got into, and then Jack White, um, he played he played here, but then he just like popped over to this. Actually, just drove past it. It's a sausage bar. It's called
Awesome.
Vanguard, and he just like played an impromptu set there.
Did you get to go or you weren't able to make it?
I found out about it after he was done, like on Reddit, like the
Ah,
Milwaukee subreddit. Somebody's like, Jack White just played at Vanguard, and I was like, damn it. I was already
I
in bed.
hate to make you feel worse, but I actually went to that show also this year at the Basement East in Nashville. Jack White played there with the Paradox before they became a big band. And so that was also a really cool show.
That's freaking wild. I have so much respect for Jack White because he has connections here to Milwaukee. The White Stripes played this tiny little club called Cactus Club that we just played on Friday with Hit the Lights. And he donated like whatever was needed to cover. They needed like 20,000 some dollars or something for to make their front entryway ADA accessible. So he just like finish the GoFundMe or whatever for it. Like he
Hell
just
yeah.
donated the rest of the money. And I thought that was like super cool.
If you're watching Jack White, you're a cool guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to read this comment. It made me laugh. JAMC Foam said, holy shit, DJ Rossstar, I listened to you 20 years ago on Adobe Radio. This is true.
You were on Adobe?
Oh yeah. So I started at college in 2002, and then I moved to Los Angeles in 2004, and then I joined Adobe. I was one of the first live shows on there. And then I moved over to Stickum because I like the video component where you can have the webcam instead of just the audio. So I
Yeah.
stayed on Stickum. Then I went to Ustream when Stickum shut down. Then I went to another station in Hollywood that was like YouTube Live. And then after that, I kind of quit for a while because there was just nowhere really live to do this kind of thing. And then there still wasn't anything interesting. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try this Instagram live thing. And so far it's working out.
That's cool. Everyone says we should do Twitch streams, and I'm like, but what am I gonna do on a Twitch stream? I would just talk. I don't game. I have no hand-eye coordination.
That's
So
something, yeah. I know nothing about being a gamer either.
like I should turn this light on.
And the problem is that a lot of people say, hey, when you do TikTok live, you'd get way more viewers. But a lot of bands don't have a TikTok page, so I wouldn't be able to go live with them anyway. It seems like a lot of artists aren't really doing the TikTok thing or not really actively, you know? Everyone's
Yeah,
on Instagram, but no one's really actively on TikTok. Some people are, but not everyone.
TikTok Live is so there's good and bad things about TikTok Live. The good thing is like you can they have a live like feed. So you can just click over to live and you'll just like come up in people's feed as they're scrolling if they're scrolling live. Instagram doesn't have that feature. So
Yeah,
you won't like see this in the feed. So people aren't here unless you do all the pre-work that you did to like promote the show, which is great because you should promote it anyways if you are
yeah,
planning ahead to go live. But I think that TikTok Live had a benefit that we didn't utilize enough just because there's like you can be impromptu and it will still be put in front of people and people might find something they like. So we used to like live stream our sound checks and stuff, but it honestly became too distracting. Like
yeah,
I hate to say it, but like everyone's like, "Why don't you live stream more? You never tour." And it's like, "Well, I hate to say it, but like I have to have my full concentration on the audience because they paid to be in that room. They paid to be at that show, and I just feel like I connect so much better in person. Like not that this isn't great connection, but I will sometimes put my foot in my mouth or say something or babble.
yeah.
Not that I do that and don't do that in person, but at least in
Well,
person it's like I'm physically there in front of you.
well, that's why I do this live, by the way. I've only done this live the whole time since 2002 because I like that nobody can go back and say something. You can't say something and then I edit it out. So whatever you say, that's it. People heard it. Hopefully you didn't say anything embarrassing or bad, but I just like the idea of live. For me, it's exciting. Anything can happen. People are sending questions, whatever, you know?
Yeah. I could get stuck on the side of the road and it's like getting dark and I'm like, I don't know how to turn the lights on in my car.
I will give you 7 more minutes and then I will let you drive home. Don't worry about that.
Oh,
So
thanks,
what
though.
what are the gold steps plan? It's hard to say that. What are the gold steps plans for? Well, no, it's plan because it's a singular. No, it's plans. The gold steps plans for 2026.
The plans for 2026 are to release more music and to get back out on the road, actually. So
Sounds easy.
we just bought a bus. It's our third bus. We have
But
had many,
what?
many experiences with buses.
Where are the other buses?
Well, one of them we sold to Everyone Dies in Utah when we moved from Texas to Milwaukee. And the other bus, we sold because we took it on tour in 2022 and then we kept using it and it had a lot of miles on it, but we started having issues with it accelerating. And it turns out that the issue was fixed by the person who bought it from us.
Oh
And it was
no.
just something with the drive shaft, but I think we were just like kind of burnt out. So we were like, let's just sell this thing and get some money back from it and figure out what we're going to do next. And then the opportunity came up to buy a bus a couple weeks ago, and we really couldn't refuse it, especially knowing that we are going to be on the road more next year because they have like built-in bunks, which
That's
before
cool.
we always had to build them ourselves. We have gutted and bunked out two separate buses in our lifetimes.
That's cool. You know how
So,
to do that though. Now you have those kind of skills.
I don't have those kind of skills.
Oh,
Zach, who's also my husband, has those kind of skills. I have the patience to measure everything and write it down and like meticulously, like detailed, like put these are all the things we need. I'm administration and like organization for the band, and
that's fair.
he is all the grunt work, mechanicals, building. But I do everything like on the logistical side of things.
So you don't drive the bus either.
Nobody wants me to drive the bus. I don't want to drive
Wow.
the bus, and nobody wants me to. I don't
But
have.
you would. You're willing to.
No. I,
Oh,
I
you don't want to.
if I if I absolutely had to, it would be white knuckling, and I would probably cry because I hate driving. I hate driving. Um, People scare the shit out of me, and I don't like. I do not have spatial awareness. Like I don't know how big anything is. I'm a great parallel parker, ironically, but when it comes to like taking like turns, like I prefer to back into parking spaces because it's easier for me than like turning into one and then having to back up and like fit.
I
I
mean,
don't
that's a
like
pain in the ass. I don't know why he wants to do that anyway.
yeah, so like parallel parking for me is easier than like pulling into a parking space in a parking lot. I don't
I,
know.
I get it. So if you do go on the road next year and play more shows than you've been playing, you're gonna have to do a lot of parallel parking on that bus. But you won't.
Uh,
They
I
will.
I will usually trade people like food and drinks or like I'll co-captain. We always have co-captains so
Yes.
that nobody falls asleep or whatever. So I'm a good co-captain.
I do know
Annoying.
there's one you have one show planned, right? I believe it's January 31st, maybe. Saw
That's
one
the
thing
only
on
one
it.
we've announced so far, but
Okay.
we have more planned.
Okay, cool. Are you gonna be going somewhere outside of your region, or who knows? Secret.
We are planning to come to Texas,
Okay, that's pretty far from Wisconsin.
and then we have stuff booked in like the Midwest, like outside of Wisconsin, so like Omaha, uh, Iowa, St. Louis, and we are not sure in Indiana yet. It actually might end up being Louisville.
Okay, things are happening though behind the
Yeah.
scenes.
And
Soon
then
they'll know.
Ohio and Pennsylvania, we have anticipated dates picked out, but not like holds. You can't like put holds for like 8 months out.
And you got ATX Redbeard said, let's do some Northeast or Nebraska shows with Turn Two. Hit them up, ATX.
We already have the lineup booked for Omaha, but
Ah,
it should be bands that people are familiar with. One of my favorite women-fronted bands from that region will be
I
with
was going to
us.
say 311's opening for you, but there's no female in 311, so
No,
that's the joke fell flat. Sorry.
no, and I will say we're also planning some dates with a band that we collabed with earlier this year.
And he did mean Northeast, by the way, but he wrote Annie after beforehand, so I thought he meant
Oh,
Nebraska.
Northeast. Yeah, Northeast will be doing like Ohio, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if we'll get to New York. It gets really, really expensive tolls wise.
It does.
So,
Tolls will get you. I was in France in October for a wedding, and we drove from like Paris to Bordeaux, and there are like tolls every hour, and they're like $17, $20. One was like $33. It was wild.
we just got that 3-day run we just did with Hit the Lights, $120 in tolls.
Wow. Plus snacks, plus wherever you slept. So, did you
For a
break?
minute, we thought we broke even for a minute, and then once I got the thing for the tolls, Zach was like, did you know how many tolls we went through?" And I was like, I wasn't paying attention. He was like,
Plus,
$120. I was like, so we did not make any money on this tour at all.
and when you're filling up a bus with gas, that's not like a $40 thing. It's probably like $100, huh?
We actually didn't take the bus on this weekend run. We didn't have enough time to get it ready because we literally just bought it. So
Oh,
we
nice.
traveled in my beautiful Toyota RAV4 with a trailer. So,
So, you don't drive your own car though when you're traveling outside of your town?
not with the trailer.
You can always find a way to get around it. Yeah, I would, but there's a
So
trailer, so
I
not
think,
happening.
well, I also can't behave myself. So, like, if they had to depend on me, I fall asleep in the car. It's like one of the few places I can actually fall asleep.
Yikes.
Quite hating it. It's because I can't pay attention to anything around me or I'll constantly be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, that person almost hit us. Ugh. Like, so it's easier for them if I just pass out and sleep the whole time.
I think I agree with that decision.
Hmm. But
Let's talk. Oh yeah, I was
I
gonna say
am,
before we wrap up, I was gonna say let's talk about new music. If you can tell them anything, any secrets about next year. Obviously, you're gonna put something out. You're not gonna disappear. So
uh, January 28th is our first. I just inhaled my own spit. I'm very, very coordinated, you guys.
awesome.
January 28th, that is our next single that's coming out.
Nice.
And then we'll have singles out. We have the dates already picked out. I just don't have them memorized. But we will also be releasing songs in March, in May, July, September, and November. So every 2 months.
And put them all together, and it's almost like an EP, right? Just combine them all.
Almost. I think we have plans to put it together as an album. Our problem is we refuse to like put out songs that aren't like in our minds 100% bangers,
Sure.
which kind of hangs us up a lot because like uh that dude just went through a red light or stop sign. Like You know, like some, I like deep cuts. I like acoustic songs. I like ballads and those kind of things. And like when you're releasing music, it's like, I don't know. I want to put out something that everybody's gonna like want to scream along to at like the front of our show next time we play. So I don't know. Maybe we'll put some demos and deep cuts and stuff in there, or some B sides that like weren't like bona fide bangers as deemed by the rest of the group, but like songs that we were like, these are good songs. They just aren't like our next opener for like, you know, our album or like
I
our
think
next set.
that's a great name for an EP too. Just call them Bonafide Bangers.
The guys would call it boner fide bangers
Even
if I
funnier.
let them name it.
Do that one.
Yeah.
So I did see on Apple there is one record that's a full length, but it's a really old one from 2018. Do you not promote that at all? Is that not supposed to be on Apple still, or is that your
No.
first endeavor?
So our first EP was 4 songs and it was called Louder Than Words. That came out in like November of 2016. Incandescent
Yeah,
isn't actually a full length. I think it's only 8 songs. And that came out in 2018. But we also released That Ain't It in 2022, and that's also 8 songs.
I don't know.
So
At this point in life, I consider 8 or more a full length because everybody's making 10-song albums. That's why I thought that.
yeah, we wanted to do a 10 to 12 album at some point.
Old school.
Yeah. Like something nice and classic, sweet and tight, like 30 to 35 minutes.
Oh yeah,
Drop a bunch of music videos, but everything's so expensive now. But yeah, we actually track everything ourselves now, like at our houses.
I love that DIY for real.
I'm
Not
gonna
just
turn my car on so I
it's
can turn
true.
the light on.
That's okay. Hey, by the way, if you are watching for the first time and you're having a good time, please follow me. I am on twice a week every week. I've got Lift the Curse on tomorrow at 1 Central Time. And you can go back on my page and see my interviews I've done here with Hit the Lights, Get Up Kids, Less Than Jake's been on here, Chris Rowe from the Ataris, Marco from Sugar Cult. A whole bunch of fun stuff on my IG. So make sure you check that out. What was that echo? I heard myself.
That
Anyway,
was
that was you.
me trying to get away from my Bluetooth because I forgot about it.
But I do want to thank you for hanging out with me in your car. I do want you to get home safely because it's getting dark. Anything you want to tell the people before we go?
Follow us. Yeah, you know where we are because we're right up there at top. But yeah, we've got a lot more coming this year, and we're going to be a band for 10 years in February. That's insane. And
That's
there's so much
fantastic.
more to come.
I can't wait to hear the Bonafide Bangers too.
Awesome. Me
Hey,
either.
get home safe and go listen to that Motion City record. Let me know what you think.
Will do. Thanks for
Thank you
having
guys
me.
for watching. Bye guys. See you later. Take care.
Bye.